the video that might have sealed Charlie Kirk's fate.
That Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on.
Oh no.
Here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part.
Yep.
Epstein was a...
And even though he may or may not be gone, somebody's filling that part. Whether it be Epstein or somebody else, if Epstein's still alive, which I think he is.
Harper. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. It's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible.
True.
Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, that Epstein
and
with his little friend...
It kind of turns out that pretty much what was going on. I can delete that one. What's this? XQC is shocked at how the Epstein case has been handled. I'm not. It's being handled exactly how I thought it was going to be handled. 6 million files. They have the government, FBI, all the money, and they have one in jail, allegedly, and one dead. Well, she's kind of in jail, but she's living her best life, you know? And everyone has to move on. That's crazy. Yeah, we're going to move on. Probably it's going to be 3-4 years down the line, and we're going to look back and be like, what the fuck happened?
Hundreds of people, thousands of people involved in at least a certain degree of wrong. 6 million...
Hundreds of thousands and maybe even millions of people are involved in satanic shit like this all over the world constantly.
Files total like 5 million, right? And all they have is one person in jail and one person dead. That's it. That's all that they have.
And this person might not even be dead. So it's like 1.5.
They have the power of the government, FBI, everybody else, all the fucking employees of the world, all the money. And they have one that's in jail, of course, allegedly, as far as we know. We don't know what kind of jail, I guess, but one dead, and everybody has to move on. That's crazy. I mean, I don't think anybody should accept this.
Welcome to my world.
I feel like the people should not accept this. Hundreds of people.
We're gonna accept it.
In at least a certain...
What other choice do we have? We don't have any real power. People like to pretend we have power all the time. Dude! Kick. Get your shit together. You need to get rid of your fucking bots. Like, I'm watching him on Kick right now, and I'm looking at my Kick chat, and I'm like, fuck you.
Degree of wrong. 6 million files.
What is this here? 13 families, the Vatican blood rights. Epstein wasn't the top, and he was just the mule. Yeah, no shit. People who are paying attention kind of know this.
Think Epstein was the scandal? That was the bait. Real architects sit on thrones, wear robes, and drink wine while feeding on children's souls in Vatican crypts. Look, let's name what they won't. The 13 bloodlines that run the world aren't who you think. Orsini, Aldo Brandini, Pallavicini, Medici, Breakspear, Farnese, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Warburg, Hanover, Lee, Bruce, Habsburg. These are not all.
I'd like literally, you can just look up, who are the 10 families who run the entire world, and it'll pop up those names. Everybody knows who runs the world. Like, why is nobody, like, doing anything about it? You know?
They are Baalic parasitic bloodlines, ritual sorcerers who hijacked empires and installed mind control systems under the illusion
I think that's the only way that you can be that powerful at the top.
of religion, politics, and
World's
finance.
run by Satan.
Where's their origin point? Venice. The black Venetian nobility ran Babylonian blood cults under Catholic masks. They merged with the Vatican, embedded into the Jesuit priesthood, and exported global slavery through maritime law, trapping you in birth certificates, taxes, and silent contracts with no consent. Venice wasn't a city of romance. It's a sacrificial basin. Why do you think the Pope wears a fish hat? That's not Christian. That's Dagon, a Nephilim water demon.
I don't know
Look,
about
Epstein
that.
wasn't a financier. He was a human trafficker for the priest class. He ran blackmail rituals for the elite, orgies timed to celestial gates, using children
I think with stuff like the Vatican, I think it's just only natural for evil people to try and gravitate toward it. And they end up getting in there. And you let it fester for too long, you don't do something about getting rid of it, then it takes over. Because that's just how it be. That's what it do.
Programmed through MK Ultra satellite nodes. Who funded him? Rothschild-backed banks. He admitted this. Mossad and CIA intelligence mergers. Chabad Lubavitch financiers masked as philanthropists. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell still alive? Because her father, Robert Maxwell, was a triple agent field operator for the Vatican Chabad MI6 Axis. Epstein's Island's temple is a mirror replica of Baal's altars in ancient Tyre. Literally, the owl statues, not for aesthetics, they're invitation gates for entities. Comment, scroll, and I'll send you the full decoded map.
You want to know something about that Epstein Island there? That's not the real deal. That's just a party place. That's just a party island. That's not where the real stuff was going down. The real stuff was going down at just like random events all over the world, like the White House.
Families, cults, islands, bloodlines, oaths, nothing hidden, everything unveiled. Think about it. Why do the Masons care more about rituals than politics? Because politics was just a front. The true power is ritualized trauma. Here's exactly how they move. Jesuits equal infiltration and education. They wrote your textbook, scripted your news, and flipped your morals through semantic inversion. Freemasons equal gatekeeping plus maintenance grid. Lodges are ritual fields, not clubs. The checkerboard floor, it's a
Dude, I've known about the Freemasons since I was a teenager. Nobody knows about the Freemasons. I don't know why. Like, there's documentaries and shit everywhere about Freemasons. Nobody, like, people used to talk about them all the time. People don't talk about them anymore. They didn't just go away.
Intentional binding grid. Chabad Lubavitch equals economic controllers of AI, neuroscience, and cloning. They bankroll the puppet governments, own biometric patents, and sit on quantum computing boards. All three serve the Black Sun priesthood. Shadow Vatican that answers to no government, no court, no god you were taught about. They install presidents, they run wars for soul harvest, and they script pandemics not just for population control, but for ritual sacrifice and initiation of mass trauma loops. Look, everything you were taught was a ritual veil. They fed on your doubt. They survived by your silence.
They think it's funny. Yeah, they think it's funny. I've seen the evidence that they just think it's hilarious. But also, if you look at, like, 764, it's the same thing. On the lower scale, on the lower level, that they just think it's funny, you know? It's a power play. It's a power move. See, this is what I've been saying. It's not just like one cabal. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a bunch of different people that are in different groups. They all shake hands, though.
Jerusalem is ruled and trodden down by Gentiles at this moment. Therefore, the men who rule the world are Gentiles. They have been Gentiles since 70 AD, and it is Gentiles today, and I maintain these Gentiles are white. They are wicked, white, Japhetic Gentiles who rule the world.
You want to know my take on it? You're kind of wrong. It's satanic pedophiles. That's it. Every group of people that run the world, all of the different ones that are just shaking hands that aren't really the same group, they're all satanic pedophiles. The Bible says that's true, and if you look into it, it seems to be fucking true.
World, and thus they presently rule Jerusalem. The Jews do not rule Jerusalem. They do not rule the world. The Jews in power are subject to the Pope and his white Gentile power structure that rules the world.
I don't know who the fuck this guy is talking.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now that we have that major plank taken care of, we'll see that the white Gentiles that rule the world are, first and foremost, the high-level Jesuits, the Black Pope, and thus 'tis 2% of the professed Jesuits of the Fourth Vow under extreme oath. They rule the world. These Jesuits then rule the entire society, the Company of Jesus, and these high Jesuits also rule international Illuminized Freemasonry.
Yeah, the Freemason stuff, yeah, I get that. Okay, you're gonna have to show me some stuff, though. You can't just say it.
Because Freemasonry was united and Illuminized after the Council of Wilhelmsbad in 1782 and after the French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars. So that ultimately by the end of the 19th century, all of Freemasonry is Illuminized, all the top Masonic leaders are controlled by the Jesuits, and therefore the Jesuits bring about their design for world government under a pope of their making.
Yeah, okay, using Christianity. I think it's all of the above.
Through their international warhorse, which is Scottish Rite, Illuminized Freemasonry, as well as Grand Orient, York Rite, and all the other subordinate Freemasonry.
I think he's on something with the Freemasonry stuff. And they do use Christ, but they don't just use Christ, they use all gods, because you just have to believe in a god, a higher power of some sort to be a Freemason.
So this is how they rule. The white Gentiles ruling the Jesuit order controls the international Scottish Rite Freemasonry, all Illuminati.
But this is a Christian country, you see. It's a Christian country, so they got to use Christianity to try and manipulate people.
Nice Freemasonry, as well as all the other secret societies, including Opus Dei, Skull and Bones, Knights of Pythias, Knights of Columbus. These are all subordinate societies to the Jesuit order through their control of Illuminized Freemasonry.
Who drew this? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more info on that. What is this? Oh, there's more. Yeah, okay. Well, that was crazy. Didn't really tell me anything. This one might, though. It'll load. Come on now.
There are only 6 types of people who make the modern world run. Number 1, the pawns, the masses. They follow orders, they are predictable. They get sacrificed each game. Number 2, the rook. These are the 20% of people who do 80% of the work. But they get stuck when the routines change, and they are useless on their own. They need number 3, the knight. Nobody can predict their path, their creativity. They connect dots no one else connect.
Eh?
Richard Branson, John McAfee, Kanye.
Number 4, the bishop. The bishop will protect you, and he is a quiet planner. Edward Snowden, Jan Tseng-Wan, Masayoshi Son.
Number 5.
Definitely not one of those guys.
Everyone is afraid of the queen. Those who run the Suki agencies, those who run the military.
But the queen's fake, though.
The rules and laws of the pawns, knights, and bishops don't apply to them.
So who are the kings of this world in Brucha?
The families that cannot be named. They have trillions, but don't show up in the Forbes list. Money does not matter to them because they print it. Everyone is playing chess, but they are the ones who provide the board. They decide how many fields the board has and how long the game will be played.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how it goes, man. Epstein's bosses, the Rothschild, run Western civilization. Definitely a portion of it. Wait, what is this? Certainly not in Saudi. Just think I will avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so. Should be back on East Coast in late April, May, sometime in NYC or on Island. Then... Oh, that was the reply. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. To Peter Thiel, Jeffrey Epstein. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has 160 billion in MGMT can do something in tech. MGMT. Okay. Best client list in the world. Prehistoric products. It can wait. Good luck in China. I'll be in Europe again 2028. Then Island. So if you want to come around the world going west, come to the island. Or if you'd like to meet me in Saudi at the end of the month. This dude was going to Saudi Arabia. Quite a bit. You know who else likes Saudi Arabia?
Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced. Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally...
Anything gonna come out of it? No word of it except for Trump saying that we need to move on from this because there's nothing. And he's tired of it. And I'm like, now that he's exonerated, now that it's come out that there's nothing about him, he's like, okay, don't look into it anymore, just in case you do end up finding the stuff out about me. What is this here? Collapse economies and rule. The information contained in this communication is confidential. Maybe attorney-client privilege, may constitute inside information and is intended only for the use of the addressee. It is the property of Jeffrey Epstein. Please note, The information contained in this communication is confidential, may be attorney-client privilege, may constitute inside information. Okay, I don't care about none of that. Brexit, just the beginning. Whoa, just right out the gate, huh? June 26, 2016. Okay. Return to tribalism, counter to globalization. Amazing new alliances. I went over this already. You and I both agreed zero interest rates were too high. And as I said in your office, finding things on their way to collapse was much easier than finding the next bargain. Oh, there's more. All consumers digitized, evaluated, they get points for certain behaviors. This is the next 10-year plan. They say if you want our 500 million people buying X, we want Y. And if XI says no Microsoft products, G, okay, it says G, it says no Microsoft products, it's not like Donald asking people not to buy Toyotas. In China, the next day, no Microsoft products sell. Genius. What? They total control, total control. Xi has moved the party above government. Lots of tentacles. They used to be side by side. Xi has moved the party. Okay, take control, total control. It's what we have going for us. They were trying to do total control. What the fuck? Working with China, it looks like? Or maybe taking out China through iMessage, apparently. Jeffrey sold to Peter Mandelson, a member of the House of Lords in England, on 18th February 2011, a week after Mubarak's fall. Do you want to be part of the Egyptian election campaign? What? You didn't call. Would you like to be part of the Egyptian election campaign? Holy fucking shit, dude. They were like actually manipulating governments. This actually was like a worldwide cabal that was trying to run the world. They didn't quite get there. And what is this? Oh, yeah. Sanders, yeah.
That's really bad in South Carolina. Can I also ask you what you thought of the president and how he responded to our questions today about Jeffrey Epstein and what the survivors have said about the release and it being insufficient in their eyes?
These survivors have gone through hell. You know, their lives have been traumatized to a horrible degree. And they need to, all of the information that is possible should be coming out. For their sake, for the sake of the American people. But I would
not just that. Somebody needs to actually fucking do something.
Tell you this, Caitlin. I think the reason this Epstein...
Right there, yeah. They make it be known. CNN is gonna absolutely fucking cook Trump. And that's embarrassing as fuck if CNN's gonna cook Trump. If he doesn't get his shit together. He needs to go hard.
Has gotten so much interest from conservatives, progressives, everybody else. Is there an understanding? It really is quite extraordinary. Above and beyond the ugly sexual stuff and all that stuff, above and beyond that, there is a growing sense that you have a small number of elite, of very, very rich people who hang out with each other, who really see themselves as above the law. Their world is not my world, it's not your world, it's not all.
He says there's a growing sense of it, that people are sensing this happening. He's not saying that it is happening. By the way, it is happening. I would, these fucking, you see how they do. You see how they do. And then we're going to move on from it. And then they're going to pretend that nothing ever happened.
Ordinary people.
We're just going to move on. We got our own problems today to deal with.
And I worry that what you're seeing now in our country today is you got oligarchs with incredible money. They also live in a different world. And I think that is why the American people are responding, you know, so strongly. They go through a...
You ever seen Altered Carbon? It's kind of like that. It's like the people who are immortal. They live in a completely different world than the people on the ground who have finite lives.
Like, they get stopped, they get fined. These guys do terrible things. That's okay. You're rich and you're powerful.
Senator Bernie Sanders, always appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us here.
Yeah, I bet you fucking do. What's this? Oh boy. Yeah. DuPont heir dodged prison for 3-year-old daughter after judge ruled he would not fare well behind bars. I remember hearing about this story, but I never really looked into it. A DuPont family heir who pleaded guilty nearly 6 years ago to his 3-year-old daughter was never put behind bars because a Delaware judge ruled he would not fare well in prison, court records show. Robert H. Richards IV, scion of the family who built the chemical empire and kin to the co-founders of a prestigious law firm, Richards, Layton, and Finger, was given 8 years probation and was ordered to seek treatment after being convicted of fourth degree in 2008, the records show. Officials managed to keep the case away from the public spotlight until this month, when his ex-wife Tracy Richards filed a lawsuit seeking compensatory... Why you gotta use words like that? I know what that word is, but it's hard to pronounce. Punitive damages for abusing their daughter and son, the News Journal reported. Richards, 47, whose great-grandfather is DuPont family patriarch Irene DuPont, has never been criminally charged for crimes against his son. Okay. The recently filed litigation claims that the father, who lives in a $1.8 million mansion near Winterthur Museum, his daughter, now 11, dude, it just, holy shit, it just keeps going. Several times beginning in 2005, according to the newspaper. 2 years later, when the girl was 5 years old, she told her grandmother, Donna Berg, that she was being by Richards. Court documents show. The little girl said her father told her it was our little secret, but said she didn't want the man touching her anymore, according to the court docs. That's fucked up, man. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Tracy Richards, after Berg told her of the sickening abuse, confronted her then husband and had him arrested for the child. Richards used his family's wealth and position in the community to hire an expensive defense team and denied the charges, according to the lawsuit obtained by the News Journal. But after failing a polygraph test, wow, how do you fail a fucking polygraph test? He admitted to abusing the little girl. That's how it works. If he would have just failed and not admitted to it, then it doesn't hold up in court. What a moron. But I'm glad he was. Fuck this guy. But holy shit. This story is just insane all around. Richards allegedly told investigators he was ill and that he needed medical treatment, the lawsuit said. Richards pleaded guilty in 2008 to fourth degree, a deal that helped him dodge any jail time. Superior Judge Jan Jordan sentenced Richards to 8 years in prison, but suspended the time for probation that requires monthly visits with a case officer. What the fuck, dude? Who is this? Superior Judge Jan Jordan. Let's check that person out real quick. See what Brave has to pull up. The Honorable President of the Judge of the Delaware Superior Court, becoming the first woman to... Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. First woman to hold that position when she was elevated in January 2015. She was originally appointed to the Superior Court in May 2001 by Governor Ruth Ann Minner and retired from the bench. And so she was there until just last year, after 23 years of service. Holy shit, dude. This is why we're cooked. We got people like this in the government, running the government. Oh, I didn't realize that I was covering this. Anyway, during her tenure, Jordan launched the mental health court in 2008. Of course she fucking did. Of course she fucking did. The mental health. You obviously weren't worried about the mental health of a child. The first program of its kind in Delaware, and presided over the Veterans Treatment Court. She also oversaw the conflict attorney program. What the fuck, dude? And served on the complex commercial litigation division. A U.S. Army veteran, she served from 1979 to 1982, leaving with an honorable discharge as a sergeant. Received numerous honors, including induction into the Delaware Women's Hall of Fame. That sounds like fake. And the Delaware State Bar Association's Outstanding Service to the Courts and Bar Award in 2011. In 2022, she received the Honorable Ada Wasserstein Award for Professional Excellence. Okay. What about what was it? Oh, the DuPont situation. I want to know a little bit more about that. 2009, blah, 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 blah. Jordan sentenced Robert H. Richards IV, a great-grandson of DuPont patriarch Irene DuPont to probation after he... Okay. Okay. Was there any backlash? Yes, there was significant backlash following Judge Jan Jordan's 2009 decision to sentence DuPont. Okay. Online petition calling for Jordan to be removed from the bench. Yeah. Received. Yeah. Okay. Well, you shouldn't be doing that to anybody, no matter what. Public outrage focused on her written note that Richards would not fare well in prison, which critics interpreted as leniency due to his wealth and family status. That's 1,000%, million% what that was. Media coverage, including a CNN opinion piece and reports by the news journal, amplified criticism with accusations that the justice system favored the wealthy. No shit. However, legal allies, including then Attorney General Beau Biden. What? What the fuck? However, legal allies, including then Attorney General Beau Biden, defended the sentence, citing a weak case and the importance of securing a felony conviction and treatment mandate. What the fuck? So, Beau Biden was involved in this. What did I just fucking come across? Okay. Later revelations showed the "not farewell" phrase originated from Richard's defense attorney, not Jordan herself, and was noted in a section for mitigating factors. Despite the controversy, Jordan was confirmed as president judge of the Delaware Superior Court in 2014. How about that? How about that? Just fucked up all around. Defendant will not fare well in level 5 setting, Jordan wrote in her sentencing order. In Delaware's correctional system, level 5 is prison. Brendan J. O'Neill, a Delaware public defender, told the Detroit Free Press that the ruling may prompt the public to be skeptical of how a person with great wealth may be treated by the system. But he defended the judge's decision, saying sometimes people need help more than they deserve to be punished. Excuse me, what? That is the most insane thing that I've ever heard when it comes to pedophilia. Well, not really. But like, holy shit, man. These fucking pedophile elites, they gotta go. Every single one of them, they're all the same. They're all the same. And it runs so deep. And it's just so funny that Beau Biden was connected to this. It's an extremely rare circumstance that prison serves the inmate well, he told the paper. Prison is to punish, to segregate the offender from society. Yeah, that's what it's for. Yes. And the notion that prison serves people well hasn't proven to be true in most circumstances. Dude, he should be put under the fucking prison. I think this should be, he 1,000% did it. Capital punishment. He admitted to it. But now Richard's ex-wife is seeking justice by suing him for assault, negligence, and negligent infliction of emotional distress on his 2 children. The lawsuit claims that while taking another lie detector test in 2010, Richards allegedly told the examiner he began to blah 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 abuse his son in 2005 when the boy was 19 months old. That's fucking insane. The father allegedly confessed that he was very concerned something happened with his son, but that he was repressed the memories, according to the lawsuit. Saying the abuse was similar to what happened with his daughter, Richards allegedly promised that whatever I did to my son, I will never do it again. Oh yeah? An attorney for the convicted pedophile's ex-wife said that lawsuit is the first step in seeking justice. This self-confessed admitted and didn't go to jail, and in fact, he stays in luxury where he's always been, said the lawyer, Thomas C. Crumpler. Yep. How about that? It's all over the place, man. Can't get away from it. Let's see. What was his name? Robert H. Richards IV. Let's see what happened to this guy. Was that the right one? Robert H. Richards IV is a convicted blah 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 and a great grandson. Okay. Did anything else happen? I bet more stuff happened. Public and legal controversy. Where is he now? Let's see that. As of 2026, Robert H. Richards IV is believed to be living in Delaware, maintaining a low profile since completing his 8-year probation in January 2017. According to the Delaware Sex Offender Registry, he resides in a multi-bedroom house in Hockenson, a suburb of Wilmington. He also owns properties in Greenville and North Shores, Delaware. How? Why? What? Since the conclusion of his probation and the 2014 civil lawsuit settlement, there have been no public updates on his activities.